Hello friend, in this video lecture we will discuss inverse of matrix and some theorem on inverse of matrix. So first of all, what is inverse of matrix? Let we have the square matrix A, then there exists matrix B such that their product A into B is an identity matrix. Okay, then the matrix B, the matrix B is called inverse of A matrix. Okay, and it is denoted by A inverse. Okay, that is A into A inverse is equal to identity matrix. Otherwise, A inverse into A, if we take the product B into A, then A inverse into A is equal to identity matrix. Now, invertible matrix. What is invertible matrix? If inverse of square matrix inverse of square matrices exists, then A is said to be an invertible matrix. Okay. Now, let us discuss the theorem. Theorem on inverse existence of the inverse of an matrix. Okay. See, what is the theorem? The necessary and sufficient condition for a square matrix capital A to have an inverse is that determinant is non-zero, or A is invertible if and only if A is a non-singular matrix. Let us prove the theorem. Prove. So this is the if and only if part. So first of all, we consider uh, A is invertible. It means let A is invertible. That is, A inverse is exists. A inverse is exists. Okay. Now, if A inverse is exists, we call that A inverse. We say as a B. Okay. That is, A into B is equal to identity matrix. It means, see, the B we just discussed in definition. A is a square matrix, there exists B such that if product is identity matrix, then B is a inverse. Okay, and we denote this inverse as a raised to minus 1. Okay, so then if A inverse is exists, then we write the relation A into B is equal to identity matrix. B is a inverse. Okay, now taking determinant both sides, that is a determinant of A into B is equal to determinant of identity matrix. Determinant of identity matrix. Okay, and we know that determinant of identity matrix is 1. Determinant of identity matrix is 1 is equal to 1, and we apply here determinant property. Determinant of A into B is determinant of A into determinant of B. So there are two terms whose product is 1. Definitely their product is non-zero. Okay, that is a determinant of A is non-zero. Okay, it implies A is non-singular. Okay, so we can assume A is invertible and we get the A is non-singular. Now go reverse way. So we consider, see next page, which is sufficient condition. Assume determinant is non-zero. That is, A is non-singular. Okay, and we know that the theorem on adjoint of matrix, we know that theorem on adjoint of matrix is A into adjoint of A is equal to determinant of A into identity matrix is equal to adjoint of A into A. Okay, so here what we prove here, we assume A is singular, non-singular matrix. So here we prove A inverse is exists. That is, we prove A is invertible. For that, we show A inverse is exists. Okay, now here we consider determinant is non-zero. We divide throughout determinant of A. Okay, since determinant is non-zero, so we get 1 upon determinant A into adjoint of A is equal to determinant upon determinant, that is cancel, that is 1 is remaining, 1 means here identity matrix is equal to adjoint of A into 1 upon determinant into A. Now 1 upon determinant, this is the value, this is the scalar value, that is A into 1 upon determinant, it can be written as adjoint of A, okay, is equal to identity matrix. Adjoint of A into this is 1 upon determinant into 1 upon determinant into A. Okay, now see, we just discuss in a inverse definition. If A is a square matrix, there exists matrix B such that A into B is equal to identity matrix. Then B is called inverse of the matrix and it is denoted by A inverse. See here, the A into square matrix, this is the square matrix. A into the square bracket is equal to identity matrix. So definitely this is inverse of A. So we say this term as a B, that is B is equal to 1 upon determinant adjoint of A, otherwise adjoint of A into 1 upon determinant. Okay, and we say the B is nothing but the A inverse, that is 1 upon determinant adjoint of A. So A inverse is exists. Okay, that is A is invertible. A is invertible. Okay, now next is uniqueness of the inverse of matrix. If the inverse is exists, then which is unique. So let us prove. Let A be a square matrix with determinant is non-zero. Okay, let us assume B and C are inverse of matrix A. Then if B and C are inverse of A, we assume here there are two inverses exist. Okay, two inverse are exist for the A. Then definitely there exists relation A into B is equal to identity matrix, and it can be written as B into A also, and A into C is equal to identity matrix and C into A. Okay, see here what we prove here, if there are two inverses there, then we prove both are the same. Okay, now consider B is equal to B into identity matrix. Can we write this? B is equal to B into identity matrix. Okay, what is the value of identity matrix from this relation? So see, B, we put the value of identity matrix as A into C. Now it can be written as B into A into C. What is the value of B into A is identity matrix. Identity matrix into C, that is the C. that is B is equal to C. So we assume 2 inverse and both are the equal. Okay, it means if the inverse is exists, then definitely which is unique. Okay, now next, see, uh, in this theorem there are two non-singular matrices given, A and B. A and B are non-singular square matrix of the same order, then AB is non-singular. Second is reversal law of the inverse of product, that is AB bracket raised to minus 1 is equal to B inverse into A inverse. And third one, adjoint of AB is equal to adjoint of A into adjoint of B. Okay, now let us prove the first. See what is the given thing. Let A and B non-singular matrices. Okay, it means what? Determinant of A is non-zero, determinant of B non-zero. Okay, so what will be their product? Determinant of A into determinant of B definitely non-zero. So by determinant property, it can be written as determinant of AB is non-zero. Okay, it implies what? It implies AB is non-singular matrix. Okay, now prove the second one is very easy, law of reversal. See, for second we consider AB, the product of AB into B inverse into A inverse. Now it can be written as B into B inverse into A inverse. What is value of B into B inverse? Is identity matrix. Okay, so this is what? A into A inverse. So we get AB into B inverse into A inverse is equal to identity matrix. Suppose equation number 1. Similarly, we find the product B inverse into A inverse. A into B is equal to, now here it can be written as B inverse, A inverse into A into B. The product is identity matrix. Now it can be written as B inverse into B, and this is what? Identity matrix. Okay. Now from first and second, that is from equation first and second, AB into B inverse is equal to identity matrix is equal to B inverse into A inverse into AB. So consider first relation, AB into B inverse A inverse is equal to identity matrix. Now here pre-multiplying by AB inverse, then we get AB inverse is equal to B inverse into A inverse. Okay, if we consider this relation, then say post multiplying by AB inverse, we get the same. Okay, now prove the third. What is the third proof? Adjoint of A. Just wait. Third is adjoint of AB. Adjoint of AB. Okay. So for that, third proof. Na? uh, we have see we know the relation A into adjoint of A is what? Determinant of A into identity matrix. So this is the theorem we already discussed. So instead of A, we substitute A into B. So what we get here? That is A into B adjoint of A into B, okay, is equal to determinant of A into B into identity matrix. Okay. Similarly, adjoint of AB into A into B. Say equation number 1. Okay. Now consider the product AB. Consider AB in square bracket adjoint of B into adjoint of A. We consider this relation. Now simplify. Can we write this A into B into adjoint of B into adjoint of A? Okay. Now from this relation A into adjoint of A, we can write determinant. So here we can write A into, here this is what? Determinant of B into identity matrix from this relation. And what is remaining term here? Adjoint of A. Okay. Now here determinant is constant term. Okay. And identity matrix into adjoint of matrix, only adjoint of A matrix is remaining. So determinant term I am writing here. Okay. So A into adjoint of A. Okay. That is determinant of B. So A into adjoint of A is determinant of A. Determinant of A into identity matrix. Okay. Now up, see, this is the value, this is the value. Okay. As like suppose determinant of A is 2 and determinant of B is 1. So determinant B into A, that is 2 into 1. Otherwise A into B that is 2. It can be written as determinant of A into determinant of B, no problem, into identity matrix. Now apply the determinant property, determinant of A into B into identity matrix. Say equation number 2. Equation number 2, this is equation number 1. Now from 1 and 2, if we consider only the left hand side here, okay, AB into adjoint of AB is determinant of A into B into identity matrix. So see here RHS are the same, okay, from 1 and 2. So we can write LHS also same, that is AB into adjoint of AB is equal to AB adjoint of B into adjoint of A. Now multiply both sides, pre-multiplying both sides, AB inverse, then we get pre-multiplying by AB inverse. So AB inverse into AB, that is identity matrix. Similarly here, so we get adjoint of AB is equal to adjoint of B into adjoint of A. Okay. So this is for the two matrices. If there are m number of matrices, if suppose A1, A2 up to m having the same order, okay, then adjoint of A1 into A2 dot 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 A suffix m, it can be written as adjoint of A suffix m into adjoint of its previous matrix, adjoint of A suffix m minus 1 dot 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 into adjoint of A suffix 1. Okay, so this is the generalized statement. Okay, now next. See, if A is non-singular matrix and n is a natural number, then A raised to n bracket raised to minus 1 is equal to A raised to minus 1 raised to n. Okay, so here for proving this theorem, we use principle of mathematical induction. Okay, this is the proposition we consider, and first we put n is equal to 1 here, that is proposition P1. After that we assume this proposition for n is equal to k, and then we prove for n is equal to k plus 1. Okay, proof. We use here principle of mathematical induction. Okay, so we have the proposition P of n A raised to n raised to minus 1 is equal to A raised to minus 1 raised to n, where n is what? Natural number. Okay, now step first, let n is equal to 1. N is equal to 1. Now A raised to, put here A raised to 1 raised to minus 1, that is A raised to minus 1. Now it can be written as A raised to minus 1 bracket raised to 1. Okay, so for n is equal to 1, which is true, P1 is true. Okay, now assume step number 2, assume Pn is true for n is equal to k, that is P of k. That is A raised to k, A raised to k raised to minus 1 is equal to A raised to minus 1 raised to k. Okay, say equation number 1. Okay, now we prove for the k plus 1. Now consider A raised to k plus 1 raised to minus 1. Now applying the law of indices, A raised to k into A raised to 1 raised to minus 1. Now we use here reversal law of matrices, that is A raised to 1 raised to minus 1, A raised to k raised to minus 1 is equal to, now from P is equal to 1 is true, now it can be written as A raised to minus 1 Now here we assume for k is equal to true, the proposition, then it can be written as a raised to minus 1 raised to k. Okay. Now it can be written as a raised to minus 1 raised to 1 and a raised to minus 1 raised to k is equal to a raised to minus 1. See here, a raised to minus 1, base is same addition of power, that is a raised to minus 1 raised to 1 plus k or k plus 1, addition is commutative. Okay, that is p of k plus 1 is true. Okay, thus p of k implies p of k plus 1. Hence by the principle of mathematical induction, Pn, the proposition Pn is true for all n belongs to the natural number. Okay, therefore a raised to n raised to minus 1 is equal to a raised to minus 1 raised to n for all n belongs to natural number. Okay, now next proof. If A is non-singular matrix, then transpose of the inverse is equal to inverse of the transpose. Proof is very easy. Let us prove the proof. Let us prove. We have determinant of A transpose, A dash A transpose is same as determinant of A, and both are the non-zero. Since A is non-singular. Okay. Therefore, transpose its inverse exists. Now, A into A inverse. Why we write this statement from this? If determinant of transpose of the matrix is non-zero, then its inverse is exists. That's why we write this statement. Now A into A inverse is equal to what? Identity matrix. We know the relation. Otherwise A inverse into A is equal to identity matrix. Now taking transpose throughout, taking transpose, we get, see here, we take the transpose A into A inverse raised to dash means transpose, identity transpose is equal to A inverse into A, its transpose. Now since identity transpose of the identity matrix is identity matrix, now here we apply the reversal law of transpose. So it can be written as A inverse transpose into A transpose. Its transpose is identity matrix. Now here A transpose into A inverse transpose. Okay, now consider this relation, otherwise this one. Here, if we consider the first relation, then multiply, post multiplying by A in A transpose its inverse. If we consider this one, this is the transpose side, this is the inverse. Now here for this relation we post multiply by A transpose raised to inverse, A transpose inverse, that is A transpose inverse is equal to A raised to minus 1 means A inverse transpose. Okay, we consider this is the T for avoiding the confusion. Okay, so which is required proof. Now next, there are four proof. A is non-singular matrix of order n and K is non-zero scalar. Then K into A bracket raised to minus 1 is equal to 1 upon K A raised to minus 1. Okay, let us prove the first proof of first. Since A is non-singular matrix, A is non-singular matrix of order n and K is non-zero scalar. Okay, if A is non-singular, definitely the A inverse is exists. Now we have the relation A into A inverse is equal to identity matrix A inverse into A. Okay, we know the relation A. This is the inverse A into A inverse. Now we adjust here K, that is K into A. K is scalar number. Now here 1 upon K into A inverse. Here K, we adjust K here, K cancel, that is I. Similarly here we can write 1 upon K into A inverse and K into A. Now consider the first relation. See here there are two terms whose product is identity matrix, and we know A into B is equal to identity, then B is inverse of A. That is this term is inverse of this. Otherwise you can use this relation, otherwise pre-multiplied by K into A inverse. Okay, that is K into A raised to minus 1 is equal to 1 upon K into A inverse. K into A bracket raised to minus 1. We pre-multiplied by K raised to minus 1. Otherwise, we use this relation. So, this is the required proof. Otherwise, if we use this relation, then post multiplied by Ka bracket raised to minus 1, we get the same relation. Now, second one, A inverse determinant is equal to 1 upon determinant. Now, see proof of the second. We know the relation A into A inverse is equal to identity matrix. Now take the determinant both sides, that is A into A inverse is equal to determinant of identity matrix, and we know the determinant of identity matrix is 1. Now it can be written as A into A inverse determinant of A inverse. Now the determinant is value, okay, and in earlier in theorem there is A is non-singular, that is determinant of A is non-zero. So it can be written as determinant A inverse of the determinant is divide 1 upon determinant because A is non-singular. This is the proof of second. Now third adjoint of A in adjoint in bracket adjoint of A is equal to determinant raised to n minus 2 into a. Okay, let us prove the second. See, we know the relation a into adjoint of a into adjoint of a is equal to determinant of a into identity matrix. Okay, now since a is non-singular, a inverse is exists. Okay, so here we pre-multiplied by a inverse, then it can be written as adjoint of a inverse into determinant into identity matrix. Okay, now it can be written as determinant of a, this is the value, a inverse into identity matrix, that is determinant a into a inverse into identity matrix is just a inverse. Okay, now we consider adjoint of a is equal to what? Determinant a into a inverse we consider as a b. Now since a is non-singular, a is non-singular. If a is non-singular, then definitely b is non-singular. Okay, if b is non-singular, there exists b inverse. Okay, that is b inverse is exists. B inverse exists. If B inverse exists, then we can write, I am writing here, B inverse exists because B is non-singular. Okay. Now we can write adjoint of from this relation. Means what? B into adjoint of B is equal to determinant of B into identity matrix. That is adjoint of B is equal to C. We use this relation, that is determinant of B into B inverse. Okay. Now what is the value of the B? Is a determinant A into A inverse. I am writing here determinant A into A inverse. This is the B. Determinant A into A inverse into B inverse into B inverse. See, determinant A into A inverse bracket raised to minus 1. So this is the B inverse and the value of this B is equal to, I am writing here, is equal to, now here determinant of A, it can be written as determinant A raised to n, and this is what? A raised to minus 1. And here it can be written as one upon determinant A raised to minus 1 raised to minus 1. Okay. How we get here determinant raised to n? See here, we take the determinant of A, determinant in bracket, determinant A into A raised to minus 1. This is the matrix, and we know that determinant of K into A, if A is a square matrix of order n, then it can be written as K raised to n into into determinant of A. Okay. Now the K is scalar quantity. Similarly here A is a scalar quantity and this is the matrix. That's why K raised to n into determinant of this inverse matrix. Okay. Now it can be written as determinant A raised to n. This is what? 1 upon determinant. Here already 1 upon determinant. Here A raised to minus 1 that is A, only A. Now here determinant base is same, bracket raised to determinant raised to minus 2. So it can be written as determinant raised to n, and this 2 it become minus 2. In denominator determinant raised to 2 and in numerator it become minus 2 into A. Okay, that is at okay, what is the B here? The B is adjoint of A. So that is adjoint of A, because the value of B is adjoint of A, we substitute here, and right hand side is determinant raised to n minus 2 into A. This is the required proof. Okay. Now what is the proof number 4? Adjoint of K into A is equal to K raised to n minus 1 into adjoint of A. We use the same concept of adjoint of theorem matrix. We know that A into adjoint of A is equal to determinant A into identity matrix. Okay. Now it can be written as, we put K A is equal to K into A. K into A in bracket adjoint of K into A is equal to determinant of K into A. Okay, and A is non-singular. So here it can be written as adjoint of K into A is equal to K into A raised to minus 1 into determinant of K into A. Okay. Now see what we prove here. Let us check again. Adjoint of A into K raised to n minus 1 into adjoint of A adjoint of K. So here we write this statement. This is the value. So first we write K into A. Now it can be written as, see here, K A raised to minus 1. This is the determinant. This is determinant. Now we apply the property here. Order of the determinant is n. We just discussed, that is K into A, and its determinant. If order of A is n, then it can be written as K raised to n into determinant of A. So it can be written as K raised to A into determinant of A. Now here this is K raised to, we apply the, okay, no problem here, K is scalar number and this is A raised to minus 1. Okay. Now it can be written as K raised to n minus 1 and determinant of A into A inverse. Now from this relation, see here, if you multiply throughout A inverse, then we get only adjoint of A here, that is K raised to n minus 1 into adjoint of A. Since A into adjoint of A is equal to determinant of A, from this relation we write adjoint of A, and which is required proof. Adjoint of K into A is equal to k raised to n minus 1 into adjoint of A. Okay. Thank you.